Divi has a brand new WooCommerce update. This update is so special because now with these 8 new added modules, you're going to be able to customize your WooCommerce store however you want. And most importantly, this update will not slow down your website. Here's what I was able to do with this update. We are now able to customize and design our checkout pages and cart pages and add pretty much any module that we need on that. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so I've gone ahead and installed WooCommerce. So you can see right here. And also on the products, I've gone ahead and added one product, which is right here. So normally when we use WooCommerce, it comes box standard. This is what it looks like. And I'm sure you can agree with me that we would like to add more details here, more design to make this look very awesome. Okay, so what normally happens here is when someone goes to the cart, they'll click here on add to cart. So once you do that, your product is added to the cart. So if I say view cart here, this is going to show us what's in the cart. So this is the page that we need to talk about and customize, because this is where the update is. So before we could not go in and really customize this page, but with this new update, we are now going to be able to do this. So I'm going to start with the cart and then we're going to go to the checkout. So let's start by enabling the visual builder here. In fact, let me open the checkout page in a new tab as well, so that we can just design these simultaneously. All right, so over here, what we need to do next, we need to go into the visual builder. So I'm going to click here on enable. Okay, so now that the builder is open, we are now ready to go in and start customizing all this. So notice what happens now. When I go in here and click, I'm now able to go in and customize pretty much anything here. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start by giving this a background. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see that I've given this black and that is now our background. But I can go in and customize this further and add any colors that I want. So let's go ahead and just add maybe something like that. But ideally, you want to be adding colors that work well with your color palette. Next, I'm going to come over here and give this some rounded corners. So I'm going to go in and go to border and just add some rounded corners here. So maybe you can go with 6, maybe even 7. Okay, next, let's give this some space inside. So we're going to go into our spacing and let's give this about 3%. So we're going to apply this both to the top and also left and right like that. So now we have some breathing space in our design here. Next, we're going to come over here and give this a color in here. You can see now I'm completely customizing this. And this is something that we were not able to do before. And I really love the fact that now we can build our cart pages and also our checkout pages freely without any limitations with this new Divi update. Okay, so now that we have this, notice that we can go in and also change the fonts. So I love using pop-ins, so I'm going to go in and change that. Now you can see that has been changed. I can also change the colors here. Next, we also have this text. I can go in and customize all these links. So this one here, let's say this is pop-ins as well. You can see it's been updated and I can do this to pretty much everything. I'm going to change the text here to white and change the font as well. There we go. Make this pop-ins. And guess what? Here on the button, we can also change this button right here. So let's go ahead and activate it. So let's make it, okay, let's leave it as that. And we also need to enter the hover state. So again, we can go in, enter the hover state. Okay, so we've got that. And we also need a border on hover. So here we can go in and give this maybe 1. Okay, let's give it 2. All right, so we have our hover state. So everything is looking good. We can also go ahead and add an icon here. So let's work on the update cart. So this time, this button here needs to be different. So I'm going to give it white text. And then over here now, for the background, I am going to set it to this orange. Okay, so that's going to be our update cart. But notice that this is only showing this way because it's hidden. This will normally show up when you're actually updating the cart. Next, over here now on these boxes, I just need to go in and give these some rounded corners, but I can also go in and change the colors. So you can see here that we have a lot of flexibility now, and this is super exciting. Now, just by a few clicks, I was able to go in and update this part of this design. Now, there's also more things that I can do here in terms of the lines. I can go in and further customize this. Now, take a look at this. We also have our cart totals here. We can actually go in and do the same and customize this. So let's go in and do that. So for our background, I'm going to go in and let's make this more prominent. Should you use red? Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're going to use that. And then over here on the design, we're going to do something similar to what we did. And that is, let's give this some padding. So we're going to go with 3% on all sides like that. And then we're going to go in and change the colors here. So now I can go in and change the labels. I can also change the pricing here and the font as well. Notice that I can go in, choose pop-ins. Now this is super exciting. This is something that we were not able to do before, and I'm really, really excited about this. So I'm also going to change my font here like that. And this cart totals, let's make this white. And again, let's change this to pop-ins. Now notice how much I can do in this update. Now we have this proceed to checkout. We need to change this button as well. And this one here, we're going to change the color. Let's see if we use black for that and use yellow. I like that. It's nice and bright and it's very easy for our visitors to see. So let's go ahead and do that for the border as well. Fantastic. Now let's go in and give this our font, and this is going to be pop-ins as well. So that's looking great now. We've got proceed to checkout, nice, bold and prominent. So this is looking good. I think finally now we can go in and give this some rounded corners. So let's go to the border here and set this to, was it 6? I think it was 6. So now this is looking really nice. Let's save that. And here we have, you may be interested in. Now notice that on this page, we can add any more elements that we may need to add here. Now, I'm not interested in adding these upsells, so I'm going to delete that and add a video here. I prefer to have a video. So this is a video that could entice our customers to buy even more items, or perhaps it's something that you may want to notify them about before they make the purchase. So now we have our video here. Now what I usually do when I have a video, I go to the overlay and add an overlay. So this has to be something that works with your business. So it has to be a video here or an image that works well. So the image I'm going to add is this one right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we're going to see that our video player is going to have a really nice design here. Next, I'm going to adjust my button here. So I'm going to come over here to design and let's adjust the sizing. So for our play icon, in fact, you know what? We may actually change this play button here. I prefer to have something like that. Look at that. Awesome. Right. So let's adjust the size. So I'm going to reduce this all the way down to about, say, 40. So you know what? We can see that that is our button. I'm going to save that. And now this is our checkout page. Now you may be wondering, why do we have these here? Now these are very important because these are notifications that show up when something goes wrong on your checkout page. Okay, so you need to definitely leave them like that. But we can also go in and customize this even further. We can go in and change the background colors here by just clicking here. You can see I can go in and change these colors, the fonts. In fact, we might as well just go ahead and do this. So look at that. I can totally customize my page here. I can also give this a background color. That was the text color. So let's make sure we're on the right item here. So, okay, that's our text color. So let's go to our background. I'm going to customize my colors here. So I've just added this blue, and I can also give this some rounded corners just to match with pretty much everything I have here on my design. So to do that, I'm going to go to border, and then I'm just going to add maybe 3. I think that should do. And I can now go to the button here and customize our button. So for our button, this time I'm going to make this orange. In fact, you know what? Let's make it white text and an orange button here so we can keep our buttons consistent. And we're also going to come over here to our button font, change this to Poppins. Now, notice that my cart page now has been totally transformed, and this is now our own design. Let's take a look now and see what this page looks like after all these customizations. So I'm going to exit the visual builder here, save and exit. Wow, look at that. So this is now my cart page. We have my cart totals here. We also have a custom video that I've added here to my checkout page. Now, guys, isn't that awesome? Now we can go in and customize our cart pages. And now I'm also going to show you how to do this on your checkout page. So to view our checkout page, I'm just going to click here on proceed to checkout. So this now, it's best to open it up in a new tab. And here it is. So like how we did before, all we need to do is to enable the visual builder to go into the actual builder and then start making all these changes. So again, we have all our information here by default. I would highly recommend you don't delete any of this because this is needed when your customers come over here to buy. Okay, so now to customize this, I can just click here on this gear icon and we can completely go in and just go crazy with our design. All right, so over here now, I think the first thing I need to do here is to just customize these messages, change our font here to Poppins. There we go. And we also need to add some rounded corners to this. So I'm going to come over here to border. Now, don't worry if I'm going a bit too fast for you guys. I'm going to create a tutorial that goes through how to create your e-commerce store, okay? Next, I'm going to come over here now and customize all these labels. Make sure that they have my fonts. So there we go. Let's do the same over here. So here we have the form background color. So we can change the form background color just like that. And this is where we can start to really customize our design here. So I'm going to go with that as my background. In fact, you know what? That's a bit too much. Let's use a slightly different color here. Okay, let's go with something like that. Okay, there we go. Now I can just go in and change my text color. Okay, so let's go ahead and update all this. So we can update this text as well. So I'm going to come to the top here, text title, change this to white. Body text, change this to Poppins. There we go. Now, ideally, this also needs to be easier to read. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So I think that works great. And also for these labels, that white is a bit too much. But notice how you can go in and really, customize this, pretty much to any colors you want. I think this is very exciting, guys. Now, on these borders here, these boxes, you can also go in and give these some rounded corners. So let me find that option. There we go. So I can just go in and just soften these sides a little bit. We can also go into the button here, customize this button by activating here, use custom styles for button. And we can say text color white. And then let's change our button background here to that orange. Okay, so that's our button there updated. Pretty awesome. Okay, so now I am going to save this. And we have really customized our area here. Now this checkout here, I don't really need that because my page has a title already here, and that is coming from my template. All right, so moving on, we can see here, apply coupon and login has been updated. That's looking awesome. We can also go ahead here and update all our fields. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I come over here, I can go into the background, maybe add a very light gray here. Like that, just to make it slightly different so you can see how much we can change here. All right, so I've just added the background. Now I'm going to go into the design and add a bit of padding. So I'm going to go with, say, 2%, top, bottom. In fact, let's go with 3. I think I've been using 3 throughout. Okay, so I'm also going to add left and right. And now that I've done that, I can go in now and change these colors. So I'm going to go in and let's go with Poppins here. So I think I'll leave the colors as they are. I think they work well. So let's go to the labels now. Change this to Poppins. There we go. Great. So that's looking great. Now here on the top, I also need to update that. And the notice here. Okay, let's just change it to that. And the notice text color, I think white is fine. And then I just need to soften the sides a little bit by giving this some rounded corners, just like that. Now over here, we can see our gray background also needs some work. So let's go and give this some rounded corners too. So I think we went with 6 before. So as you can see here, I've just gone in quickly, made my updates, and this is looking unique so far. Now I can even go a step further here and say, okay, you know what? Why don't we add a field background color? So we can make these even brighter. Now I've just changed this to white, and I think that works even better. Okay. Now, if you see that your padding is not enough, you can always go in and change that by coming back over here. Let's see, spacing, and we can increase this to say 5. I think 5 works better. All right. So if I save that, you can see now we have a custom page that we have just updated. I think this looks really, really cool. So let me see if I can just copy all my styles here and add them onto the other one. So I'm going to click here on copy module styles. And then over here, I'm going to paste it. Let's see. Is there a paste? Okay. So it looks like I can't paste the module styles. Now, the reason why that is not working is because these modules are different. Okay, so if I click here, you can notice that this is a Woo checkout billing setting, and this one here is the shipping settings. So that's why it's different. But anyway, no problem. We can always go in and manually do this by clicking here on this gear icon, and let's go in and start working on this. So here for that different address, I'm going to go in and change this slightly because we need a differentiation between these two. So this is the normal billing and this is shipping to a different address. So I'm going to add this this slight color here for that. And on the design, I'm going to give this some rounded corners. Let's go with 6. I think I gave it 6 to the other one. And let's go to our padding. And for our spacing here, we added a padding of 5%. Okay, so this just keeps everything very, very consistent. So you can see how fast I'm moving here. We are able to go in and really make these changes super fast. I'm clicking here on this paintbrush tool, and this is what allows us to move very, very fast. All right, so now I'm going to add my font. So that's shipping to a different address. And again here, let's change our fonts to Poppins. Now we really want our font here to stand out. In fact, I think this works. Now over here, let's give our background color, fields background color, and let's make it white. Okay, so we've changed the color here. I think that's great, but we may need to add a border on those fields. Let's see how that looks. So currently there's no borders. So if I add this, right, I think these fields really stand out. So what I'm going to do now, because the color here is very important. So if we go with that gray, for example, I'm going to bring this all the way down to just something very, very subtle, just like that. Okay, I think that looks better now. And what I'm also going to do now is to go to the border here. In fact, we need to go to our fields and find the borders for our fields. There we go. And set this to about 3. So that just softens up the edges. And I think this is looking great. In fact, let's just increase the text color here. In fact, you know what? The color is fine. Okay, so there we go. I've just gone in and updated this, and this looks really awesome already. In fact, here we also need to change the colors of the background here. That blue is not what we used before. So let's add our own color. Okay, so for our notices, I want to go to the background here and change the color just like that. I think this really stands out, and I love this design. It is definitely different to what we had before. Oh, on the bottom here, we also have the order itself. So here we can also make some updates to the final order, and that is just by going in again like how we did before. We can just click here on this gear icon and fully customize this. So I think what we need to do here, the most important thing is the colors. So let's go in and add our font. Okay, so this is going to be Poppins, like that. And we also need to go into the rest of the items here. Now you can see here we have more items to play around with. So we can go in here and add a background, to this, just the box itself, which is pretty cool. So I really love the fact that we can go in and customize that. So if you don't want to use that, we can just leave that as it is. But you know what? I think this looks better with the colors. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit just to make it different to everything else here on the page. All right, so now that we have this, I'm going to go in now and update all my fonts. So the body font here needs to be Poppins. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, you can also update the sizes as well. So we can go in and customize the sizes, but I think this is fine enough. Okay, so now I'm going to save that. So this is now our order. And we also have the checkout information here, which we can go in and also further customize. So for this, I'm not going to do a lot of changes here. I'm just going to change the fonts. So let's go ahead and do that. So for the fonts here, we're going to change this from default to Poppins. There we go. We can also do the same here for the tooltip. Okay, so as you can see, I can go in and really customize pretty much everything. This is super exciting. In fact, I'm going to be making quite a few templates here to share with you guys so you can, save your time going in, updating all this. So that will be announced very soon. Okay, so let's go to our font here, our body font. Change this to Poppins as well. There we go. So finally, we have our button here where we can place our order. And I want to keep the consistency here and just make sure our text color here is set to white and then our background to orange. There we go. And then finally, in fact, we got one more step because we need to change the font. So let's change this from default to Poppins. There we go. Excellent. So now we have updated our page. Let's save and exit and see what this page looks like. So there we go. If this is now our checkout page, we're able to go in and make our changes here. You can see our order updates. We can, by the way, move things around if we wanted to. And then over here, it says ship to a different address. Now, this may not show the update yet, but if I click here, you can see now that's the form that we created earlier on, and this looks awesome. So after this, now we have the order part. So what I would actually do here is go in, customize everything, and make everything match with your branding. And then once you have all this, you're now going to be able to have customized checkout pages and cart pages, as well as other areas of WooCommerce. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.